IB program actually. So everything's a little bit harder, but we're going to do great. It's perfect that you guys are in grade 5 and 6. So that will work great for me. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. I used to teach art. So I can draw, I can paint. And my favorite subject in school was always art. And then slowly I started loving to read and write. So which is why I tutor a lot for reading and writing. So whenever you feel like you're uncomfortable and unsure about reading and writing, you can come to me and I can help you out. So for everyone, why don't you guys tell me what your name is, what grade you're in, and what your favorite subject in school is. I'm going to call on you and then you can unmute yourself and let me know. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, okay? I don't want to be saying anyone's name wrong. So let's start with Ewan, is it? Or Ewan?
It's pronounced, I'm going to put it in the chat. It's pronounced that way.
You can tell me.
It's like a U-N.
Oh, Yuan, is it? Am I saying it correctly?
U-N.
Okay. All right.
My favorite subject at school is math.
Oh, your favorite subject was math. And what grade are you in? Was that? I couldn't hear you. Awesome. Okay, perfect. And then now we have, let me just close the chat first. I can't see your names. Brian, introduce yourself. Tell me your name, what grade you're in, and what your favorite subject is in school.
My name is Brian, and I am in grade 6. And my favorite subject is gym, mainly because it's the only fun one.
It's the only fun one, the one where you can be active. Do you have a favorite sport?
Yeah, I do baseball.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Brian. Okay, Kathy, please unmute yourself. Tell us your name, what grade you're in, and what subject you like.
My name is Kathy. I'm in grade 5, and my favorite subject is math.
Okay, perfect. We have a lot of math lovers, it seems. And then Elvin, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are. So my name is Elwin, and my favorite subject in school is math as well.
Math as well, awesome. Wow, we really do have a bunch of math lovers here. Okay, and then Hanson, can you introduce yourself as well?
My favorite subject is math and gym.
Whoa, sorry, dear, that was very low volume. Can you speak up a little bit?
My name is Hanson, and my favorite subject is math.
Math, what grade are you in?
Grade 5.
Good, so we have a nice mix here. Does anyone have I know most of us seem to like math here. Does anyone here have a favorite book that they kind of like to read?
Keepers of the Lost City.
Mine is Escape.
Oh, okay. Anyone else like to share their favorite book? I know not everyone likes to read, but I'm hoping that through this class we can all enjoy reading because it's my favorite things to do. And oh, is someone trying to share what their favorite book is?
I enjoy reading a lot.
What do you like to read, Brian?
I like the Harry Potter series. Every few months or so, I'd come back to it and read a few bit.
I'm reading that.
I'm a Harry Potter fan here.
I read the whole thing while I'm rereading. Right.
Pardon me?
I read the whole Harry Potter, but I'm rereading it.
Okay, we're rereading it as well. I'm happy to hear we have some Harry Potter fans in here. Okay, so now that I've gotten to know everyone a little bit better, I mean, once winter hits, I'm going to get to know everyone even better. Right now, just a quick introduction. And we have a little comment here. Good, okay, great. We do have people who like to read here, which is awesome. So we're not just doing math, we're also reading. That's perfect. Okay, so today
Excuse me, Miss Rachel.
Yes.
Just quickly, let me remind all you boys and girls should know mentors our class rules, guys. Yuwen is the only one doing good job. I need all you guys turn on the camera, and the teacher Rachel in the future also will ask you guys every single class. Doesn't matter if it's a demo class or real class, camera on, class on, okay? We need you guys all turn on the camera if your camera works. Otherwise, teacher won't see your face and just look in the screen. It's not fun class, okay? Let's go, guys. Turn on the camera like Yuwen did. Brian, Kathy, good job, Kathy. Hansen, I saw new student Hansen, nice. Camera is upside down, but anyways. And Alvin, very good, Brian. Everybody will turn the camera on, good. So you guys can stay muted. If any questions, you can raise your hand in the Zoom. You guys know already. Or just unmute, ask a teacher a question in the class, okay? And we got the new students, Carolyn. Carolyn join as well. Carolyn, if you can turn the camera on, you can stay muted, but do turn on the camera. Very good, Carolyn. And I believe your parents didn't register you in the WeChat group for this class. Carolyn, you can ask whoever your mom or dad besides you to sign you up in the WeChat group for this class. Okay, welcome, Carolyn. All right, Rachel, now it's all good. Now they all turn the camera on.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, hi, Carolyn. We were just introducing ourselves. What grade are you in, Carolyn?
Grade 4.
Grade 4, perfect. What's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math, okay. We do have a lot of math lovers in here, okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Here we are. So for today's class, we're going to do a brief introduction, and then we're going to talk about something called characterization. And since we seem to all have a lot of readers in here, we're also going to read a novel together as a class. So first, let's talk about what characterization is. So characterization is kind of like a fancy word that tells us about a character. So let's look at the left side here where it's blue. So there's something called direct characterization, and the author of the novel or story tells us something about the character. Okay, the author is making a direct statement about a character. So for example, if there was a character named Jen in a story we're reading about, we can say Jen is honest. Okay, so if a author just writes Jen is honest, that's called direct characterization. And then let's look at the right side here in the red, indirect characterization. So this is where an author might write something about a character and it's showing us what the character is like. So we can make inferences based on the character's actions and how they talk to different characters, and we can make a conclusion. So for example, Jen found money and returned it to the office. What is a word we can use to describe Jen?
Honest.
Good. Perfect. That's a perfect word. We can say Jen is honest. So here we made an inference and we concluded that Jen is an honest person because she returned money to the office.
Also kind of humble.
Sorry, what was that?
Also, he's kind of humble, proving that he doesn't need money. Maybe they're not only are they honest, but they're not greedy, you can say. You never know, maybe Jen is in need of money, but they want to be honest, they want to be a nice person, and they still want to return it. Okay, and also today, I don't know why, but I'm unable to see everyone's name. So before you answer a question, you guys should tell me your name first. I'll remind you guys. I don't know why I can't see your names on the screen right now. Okay, so here we have 3 different sentences. So here, does everyone know how to use the tools on Zoom? You guys had class, so you guys know how to use the tools, right?
Okay.
Since I'm on iPad today, I don't think I'm able to annotate.
Okay, that's okay. For our friends who are able to. So here I have 3 different sentences. Can I get Carolyn, can you read the first sentence, number 1?
Ben competes in a basketball tournament.
Thank you. Brian, can you read number 2?
Tammy drove around the block.
Perfect. Kathy, can you read number 3?
Kevin is very athletic.
Perfect. Okay, so I want one of you guys to find the sentence that shows direct characterization. So what that is, to remind you guys again, direct characterization is when an author just tells us something about a character. So for example, Jen is honest, and that's it. Very, very straightforward, nothing fancy. The author just tells us. So does anyone feel comfortable circling that? Oh, we have someone circling already. Thank you. Next time, wait for me to call on you. Okay, but our friends who did circle, thank you. Next time, wait for me to call on you. But those of you who circled, Kevin is very athletic. You are totally right. Okay, now let's try these guys. Can I get Elwin to read number 1?
Stephen is good at painting.
Perfect. Eric, number 2. Oh, Hanson, number 2.
John runs to the finish line and won the race.
Wonderful. Ian, number 3.
When he plays a flute, piano, and trumpet.
Wonderful. Okay, so does anyone want to find the sentence that shows, indirect characterization? So to remind you what that is, it's when an author describes what the character is doing or saying. It doesn't tell us exactly who they are, what their characteristic or personality is. Does anyone feel comfortable finding it? If not, I'm gonna,
Carolyn?
yeah, go ahead. You're gonna circle the correct one.
I can't circle. I'm on a computer.
Okay, can you tell me which one it is then?
It's Don runs to the finish line and won the race.
Wonderful. There's actually one more. Can anyone find the second one?
I found it.
Yeah, what's the second one?
Vivian is good at painting.
Good. Okay, so you're close actually, because the author here wrote Vivian is good at painting. She's already making sort of a conclusion about her personality. So actually, it's a tricky one. Number 3. Number 2 and 3 are examples of indirect characterization. Okay, so today we are going to be reading a chapter from a novel called 5 on Treasure Island. Has anyone read this story before? Okay, I see some heads shaking. So we are going to take turns reading. I am going to jump over to a new screen so you guys can actually see the text. Okay, there we are. Let me make it a little bit bigger for everyone. Oops, give me a second here. Zoom in a little bit, stretch out the screen a little bit. Okay. So I am going to read the first page. When I call on you, please take over the next page, okay? So chapter 1, a great surprise. Mother, have you heard about our summer holidays yet? Said Julian at the breakfast table. Can we go to Pull Save as usual? I'm afraid not, said his mother. They are quite full up this year. The 3 children at the breakfast table looked at one another in great disappointment. They did so love the house at Pull Save. The beach was so lovely there too, and the bathing was fine. Cheer up, said Daddy. I dare say we'll find somewhere else just as good for you. And anyway, Mother and I won't be able to go with you this year. Has Mother told you? No, said Anne. Oh, Mother, is it true? Can't you really come with us on our holiday? You always do. Well, this time Daddy wants me to go to Scotland with him, said Mother, all by ourselves. And as you are already getting big enough to look after yourselves now, We thought it would be rather fun for you to have a holiday on your own too. But now that you can't go to Pull Save, I don't really know where to send you. What about Quentin's? said Daddy. Quentin was his brother, the children's uncle. They had seen him once and had been rather frightened of him. He was a very tall, frowning man, a clever scientist who spent all his time studying. He lived by the sea, but that was about all the children knew of him. Quentin, said Mother, pursing her lips. Whatever made you think of him? I shouldn't think he'd want the children messing about in his little house. Well, said Daddy, I had to see Quentin's wife in town the other day about a business matter, and I don't think things are going too well for them. Fanny said that she would be quite glad if she could hear one or two people to live with her for a while, to bring money in. Their house is by the sea, you know. It might be the thing the children need. Fanny is very nice. She would look after them well. Yes, and she has a child of her own too, hasn't she? Said the children's mother. Let me see. What's her name? Something funny. Yes, Georgina. How old would she be? About 11, I think. Same age as me, said Dick. Fancy having a cousin we've never seen. She must be jolly lonely all by herself. I've got Julian and Anne to play with. All right, so that's the end of the first page. Does anyone want to volunteer to read the second page? Anybody?
Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn.
But Georgina is just one on her own. I should think she'd be glad to see us. Well, your Aunt Fanny said that her Georgina would love a bit of company, said Daddy. You know, I really think that would solve our difficulty if we telephoned to Fanny and arranged for the children to go there. It would help Fanny, I'm sure, and Georgina would love to have someone to play with in the holidays, and we should know that our three were safe. The children began to feel rather excited. It would be fun to go to a place they had never been to before and stay with an unknown cousin. Are there cliffs and rocks and sands there? Asked Anne. Is it a nice place? I don't remember it very well, said Daddy, but I'm sure it's an exciting kind of place. Anyway, you'll love it. It's called Karen Bay. Your Aunt Fanny has lived there all her life and wouldn't leave it for anything. Oh, Daddy, do telephone to Aunt Fanny and ask her if we could go there, cried Dick. I just feel as if it's the right place somehow. It sounds sort of adventurous. Oh, you always say that wherever you go, said Daddy. All right, I'll ring up now and see if there's any chance. They had all finished their breakfast and got up to wait for Daddy to telephone. He went out into the hall and they heard him dialing. I hope it's all right for us, said Julian. I wonder what Georgina's like. Funny name, isn't it? It's more like a boy's than a girl's. So she's 11, a year younger than I am, same age as you, Dick, and a year older than you, Anne. She ought to fit in with us all right. The four of us ought to have a fine time together. Daddy came back in about 10 minutes' time, and the children knew at once that he had fixed up everything. He smiled round at them. Well, that's settled, he said. Your Aunt Fanny is delighted about it. She says it will be awfully good for Georgina to have company, because she's such a little lonely girl, always going off by herself. She will love looking after you. Only you'll have to be careful not to disturb your Uncle Quentin. He is working very hard, and he isn't very good-tempered when he is disturbed. We'll be as quiet as mice in the house, said Dick. Honestly, we will. Oh, goody, goody. When are we going, Daddy? Next week, if Mother can manage it. Mother nodded her head. Yes, she said. There's nothing much to get ready for them. Just bathing suits and jerseys and jeans. They will all wear the same. How lovely it will be to wear jeans again, said Anne, dancing around. I'm tired of wearing school tunics. I want to wear shorts or a bathing suit and go bathing and climbing with the boys.
Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, do we have another volunteer for our next page? Yeah, you want to go?
You shouldn't be doing that, said Mother with a laugh. Remember to put ready any toys or books you want, won't you? Not many, please, because there won't be a great deal of room. Anne wanted to take all her $15 to her last year, said Dick. No, you remember, do you remember, Anne? Weren't you funny? No, I wasn't, said Anne, going red. I love my dolls and I just couldn't choose which to take. So I thought I'd take them all. There's nothing funny about that. And do you remember the year before Anne wanted to take the rocking horse, said Dick with a giggle? Mother chimed in. You know, I remember a little boy called Dick who put aside one teddy bear, 3 toy dogs, 2 toy cats, and his old monkey to take down the police set 1 year, she said. Then it was Dick's turn to go around. He changed his subject at once. Daddy, are you going to train a car? He asked. A car, said Daddy. You can pile everything into the boot. What about Tuesday? That would suit me well, said Mother. Then we could take the children down or come back and do our own packing and measure and start off for Scotland on Friday. Yes, we arranged for Tuesday. So Tuesday it was. The children counted the days each week and Anne marked one off the calendar each night. The week seemed a very long time, and could you scroll down? Tuesday did come. Nick and Julian, who shared a room, woke up at about the same moment and stared out of the nearby window. It's a lovely day, hurrah, cried Julian, leaping out of bed. I don't know why, but it always seems very important that it should be sunny on the first day of a holiday day. Let's awake and slept in the next room. Julian ran and then took her. Wake up, it's Tuesday and the sun shining. Emma got with the dogs and stared at Julian thoughtfully. It's come at last, she said. I thought it never would. Oh, isn't it an exciting feeling to go away for a holiday? They started soon after breakfast. Their car was a big one, so it held them all very comfortably. Mother sat in front with Daddy, and the 3 children sat behind, their feet on 2 suitcases in the luggage place and at the back of the car were all kinds of odds and ends and one small trunk. Mother really thought they had remembered everything. Along the crowded London roads, they went slowly at first, and then as they left the town behind more quickly, soon they were right into the open country, and the car sped along fast. The children sang songs to themselves as they always did when they were happy.
Thank you, Yuan. Okay. Next volunteer, anybody? Yep, go ahead. Tell me your name first.
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Are we picnicking soon? Asked Anne, feeling hungry all of a sudden. Yes, said Mother, but not yet. It's only 11 o'clock. We shan't, that's a word, have lunch till at least 12:30, Anne. Oh, gracious, said Anne. I know I can't last out till then. So her mother handed her some chocolate, and she and the boys munched happily, watching the hills, woods, and fields as the car sped by. The picnic was lovely. They had it on top of a hill in a sloping field that looked down into a sunny valley. Anne didn't very much like a big brown cow, which came up close and stared at her, but it went away when Daddy told it to. The children ate enormously, and Mother said that instead of having a tea picnic at 4:30, they would have to go to a tea house somewhere because they had eaten all the tea sandwiches as well as the lunch ones. What time shall we be at Aunt Fanny's? Asked Julian, finishing up the very last sandwich and wishing there were more. About 6 o'clock with luck, said Daddy. Now who wants to stretch their legs a bit? We've got another long spell in the car, you know. The car seemed to eat up the miles as it purred along. Tea time came, and then the three children began to feel excited all over again. We must watch out for the sea, said Dick. I can smell it somewhere near. He was right. The car suddenly topped a hill, and there was the shining blue sea, calm and smooth in the evening sun. The three children gave a yell. There it is! Isn't it marvelous? Oh, I want to bathe this very minute. We shan't be more than 20 minutes now before we're at Karen Bay, said Daddy. We've made good time. You'll see the bay soon. It's quite a big one, with a funny sort of island at the entrance of the bay. The children looked out for it as they drove along the coast. Then Julian gave a shout. There it is! That must be Karen Bay. Look, Dick, isn't it lovely and blue? And look at the rock little island guarding the entrance of the bay, said Dick. I'd like to visit that. Well, I've no doubt you will, said Mother. Now let's look out for Aunt Fanny's house. It's called Kieran Cottage. They soon came to it. It stood on the low cliff overlooking the bay, and it was a very old house indeed. It wasn't really a cottage, but quite a big house, built of old white stone. Roses climbed over the front of it, and the garden was full of flowers. Here's Kieran Cottage, said Daddy, and he stopped the car in front of it.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, and then we just have a little bit here. It's supposed to be about 300 years old. Now, where's Quentin? Hello there, Fanny. So that's the end of chapter 1. I'm going to jump back to my slides here. Okay, that's the end of chapter 1. So they were discussing a whole lot, little introduction to our characters. So here are some questions that we are going to ask ourselves after reading. They are based on the who, where, what question. So first, in the red, who are the characters? In the blue, where are they going? In the green, what are they discussing about? Does anyone feel comfortable answering the first one? Who are the characters? Who can remember which characters are introduced here in the first chapter? Does anyone feel comfortable answering this question?
Carolyn.
Carolyn, okay.
They're Anne, Julian, Dick, Mother, and Daddy.
Okay, great. And Julian, Dick, Mother, and Daddy. Okay, just for today, I'm going to do the typing because I don't know how many of you are able to annotate right now. So I'm going to help you guys out for today. Okay, next question. Does anyone feel comfortable answering the second question in blue? Where are they going? Where are they going? Anyone remember what that place they're going to? It starts with a K. No one?
Carolyn,
Carolyn, you want to give it a try again?
Karen Bay,
Good. So it's Kieran Bay, or they're also going to their cottage. So we can say Kieran Cottage. And then in the green, what are they discussing about? So the children are having this discussion with their parents. Oh, is someone leaving now? Okay, bye, Elwin. Have a lovely holiday. Okay, what were they talking about? What were the children and their parents talking about? Did anyone catch that? What was this whole entire chapter about them talking? Any ideas? So they were talking. Carolyn, okay.
they're talking about how it will be a Karen Bay and Kieran Cottage.
Good. So they were talking a lot about Kieran Bay and Kieran Cottage. They were talking about where they're going for summer vacation, right? Because they're getting off for summer vacation. They're talking about where to go because father and mother, they are leaving. They're going to Scotland. So the children need somewhere to go. So here are the answers. We have some of the characters have been introduced, like Quentin, Georgina, and Aunt Fanny, but we haven't really seen them just yet. So Carolyn still did an excellent job pointing up the main characters. And you also got Kieran Bay and Kieran Cottage. And they were talking about where the three children should go for the holidays. Wonderful. So next, this question's a little bit tricky. We have a why question. Why are the children going to Kieran Bay? Yes. My friend raising your hand, tell me your name.
Ewan.
Yeah.
They're going to Karen Bay because their dad wants to go to Scotland with their mom. So, but mom
Wonderful. That was a perfect answer. So mother and their daddy are going to Scotland together. They want to have their own vacation. Aunt Fanny is able to take care of three children because she only has one child. And their only child, Georgina, doesn't really have any other kids to play with. She's by herself. She's an only child. So more of a reason that they should go there. And the other reason was that, which is not listed here, Uncle Quentin is having some money trouble. So they're hoping that maybe if they stay there, they could earn a little bit of extra money as well. Okay, so those are all the reasons why. Okay, so now we're going to look at actually a bunch of words here. You might be questioning, why am I showing you a bunch of words? Like, why am I being so weird? I'm showing you these words because at the beginning, we talked about characterization. We're going to be talking about each of these characters and their traits. So we're going to make inferences based on what the characters were doing, what they were saying, and make an inference on how these characters are acting. Can I get, so here we have a column in the first row here. Can I, starting from active, adventurous, afraid, so going from top to bottom, can I get Kathy to read these words out loud?
Active, adventurous, afraid, angry, artistic, bold, bossy, brave.
Perfect. Can I get Hanson to read the next column? Determined.
Determined, dishonest, disrespectful, dull, energetic, fair, friendly, fun.
Wonderful. Can I get Brian to read the middle column? Lazy. Brian, don't forget to unmute yourself.
Whoops. lazy, logical, lonely, loud, loving, loyal, lucky, mature. Wait, whoops.
Nope, you did great. Okay, and then Carolyn, busy.
Busy, generous, mischievous, shy, serious, mean, funny, brilliant.
Wonderful. And then last one, proud, quiet, respectful, responsible, rude, sad, selfish, and sensitive. So these are just some examples we can use when we're describing a character. Of course, there's way more words. You probably all know way more words in the list here, but these are just some ideas I want you to keep in mind for our next activity. For our next activity here, I want to show you an example first. So here we have something called textual evidence. So you could pretend that you're kind of like a detective and you are finding evidence in the text or a book or a novel that you're reading. So what this is that you're taking a little snippet, a little kind of like a little snapshot, a little bit of the text, and you using that little bit from the text, you're going to make an inference. You're going to make kind of like a prediction about the character. So here, everything that you see in the dark blue here underneath textual evidence is said by Julian or related to Julian in some way. Okay, so here he says, "Mother, have you heard about our summer holidays yet?" said Julian at the breakfast table. "Can we go to Pull Safe as usual?" So just reading that, I know that Julian is a curious child because he's asking all these questions. He's not even waiting for his mom to respond. He's just shooting out all these questions. He just wants to know all these things. Okay, so you will take evidence. You're being like a detective. You're taking textual evidence, so something from the text, and then you're making a prediction or an inference based on what you just read. So I've made the inference that he is a curious kid because he likes to ask questions. So the next one, "I hope it is all right for us," said Julian. "I wonder what Georgina is like. Funny name, isn't it? More like a boy's than a girl's. So she's 11, a year younger than I am, same age as you, Dick, and a year older than you, Anne." So there's a couple of words that I've figured out from reading this. He's maybe outspoken, he's opinionated, and maybe analytical. He's analyzing everyone's age, and he's kind of almost kind of like making fun of Georgina's name, saying that it's more like a boy's than a girl's. Okay, so these are just some character traits that I can use to describe Julian. Of course, you're not going to be using the same words as me. You might be using any of these words. You might have your own words. There's really no right or wrong. Okay, that's a very, very important part you have to remember. When you're writing or you're analyzing a character, there's no right or wrong. You just have to make sure you find a good text, good evidence to show that this character is like this, because I can prove it. I can prove it to you by finding a quotation that they're saying or something they're doing from the book we're reading. Okay, so based on that, you can then write a paragraph. We've all written paragraphs before, right? We're all comfortable writing a paragraph. Give me a thumbs up if you've done some paragraph writing. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, perfect. And make sure you guys are keeping your cameras on for the whole entire class. Okay, don't disappear on me, or I feel like I'm talking to myself and I will feel very, very weird that there's no one here. Okay, so make sure you have your camera on throughout the whole entire class. Okay, so here is my paragraph that I've written to describe Julian. So Julian is an intelligent and inquisitive child. He likes to ask one question after another. So here we have my textual evidence. "Mother, have you heard about our summer holidays yet?" said Julian at the breakfast table. "Can we go to Pull Safe as usual?" He is thinking ahead and wondering what sorts of plans they should have for summer break. And knowing that in previous years the family visited Pool Save, he deducts that they will visit the same place again. Julian is a smart child who likes to ask questions to find out more about a situation. All right, so I chose to focus on him being curious and very kind of intelligent. He's asking these questions. Maybe he's a planner. That's what we can conclude from this textual evidence. And then I wrote a paragraph on it. All right, so now it is your turn. I'm going to give everyone a couple of seconds to just get out a pencil and maybe some scrap paper. We're not going to do a lot of writing today, but you are just going to quickly pull out a sheet of paper or a notepad or a scrap piece of paper, and then take out a pencil and a pen. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to do that. All right, we all have our pencils, scrap paper, notebook, notepad ready. So what you're going to do here, you're going to do something similar to what I did. You're going to think of a character trait for Dick. You're going to think of two character traits, actually. I've already helped you out here, and I picked out two textual evidence. So now it's just your turn to play detective. So here, this is what Dick says. Anne wanted to take all her $15 with her last year. Said Dick, do you remember, Anne? Weren't you funny? The second textual evidence. Same age as me, said Dick. Fancy having a cousin we've never seen. She must be jolly lonely all by herself. I've got Julie and Anne to play with, but Georgina is one on her own. So what are some character traits you can make an inference on based on these two textual evidences? You're going to think of two words, two adjectives or character traits you can use to describe Dick. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do that. You can write it down on your sheet of paper. You do not need to copy down the textual evidence. What you should be writing down on your sheet of paper is two character traits you can use to describe Dick. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that, and then I'm going to ask you guys to share it with me and share with everyone. See what you've come up with as a detective. Okay, remember there's no right or wrong. It's really just based on your opinion and what you think these two textual evidences are showing you here. What can you say about this character based on reading these two short little passages? So I'm going to give everyone about a minute to work on that. So you're just writing two words, okay? You're not copying anything down right now. All right, are we ready to share our answers? Does anyone feel comfortable sharing their answer first? Anybody want to share what character traits they came up with?
Carolyn.
Go for it.
For the first one, I thought he was a bit offensive.
Okay.
And for the second one, I think he's a bit curious.
Good. Offensive is actually a great word. He's being kind of mean. He's kind of teasing Anne, right? About her taking $15. And curious is also a great word. He's kind of wondering, how does Georgina live by herself? She doesn't have any siblings to play with. That's great. Does anyone else feel like sharing? And if not, I'm going to call on you.
I have one.
Okay, Brian, right?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
For the first one, he's kind of like teasing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a joker, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Good. Teasing is a great word. He's a bit of a kind of a playful child. He's making fun of Anne. That's a great word. Thank you, Brian. Okay, Kathy, would you like to share your answer?
For the first one, I got for teasing, and the second one is sympathetic.
Wonderful. Ooh, we haven't heard that word yet. Sympathetic. So he's kind of putting Dick is putting himself in Georgina's shoes. He's saying, oh, this kid might be really, really lonely because she doesn't have any siblings to play with. She's kind of just on her own. Okay, I have a friend here who's raising up your hand. Go ahead. Tell me your name first. Yeah.
The first one heard and the second one chatty.
Chatty. Ooh, that is another word we haven't heard yet, which I kind of agree with. He's kind of like, Dick is kind of rambling on. He's not waiting for anyone to respond. He's just firing away. He has all these different things to say. Good. Okay. Now that we've had some character traits and we have our textual evidence, we are now going to practice writing a paragraph. So you're going to write a paragraph. Okay, thank you, Brian, for letting me know. You're going to write a paragraph explaining Dick's characteristics. So just like what I did with Julian earlier, I said Julian is intelligent and he's curious, and then I listed all these reasons why. I want you to do the same thing for Dick here, okay? I'm going to go back to the previous screen just to give you guys an idea. So you're going to write a paragraph explaining Dick's characteristic and why you think he is sympathetic, or why is he mean, or why is he kind of like a joker. Okay, you're going to include textual evidence, meaning you're going to prove it. You're going to try to prove it to me. How is this kid curious? How is this kid sympathetic? What did he do to show these different traits? All right, so you're writing a paragraph now, okay? Not just a sentence and a paragraph. I'm going to give you some time to do that.
We do it in the chat.
Oh, you know what? That's okay. You can type it into the chat.
I'll type it into the chat too.
Go for it. That is a great way to share your answers. Let's do that. So whatever is comfortable for you guys. If you feel like handwriting it is easier, go ahead. If you want to type it into the chat, that works for me as well. I'm going to have the chat open. I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes to do that, okay?
Can I see the question again?
Of course. So here it is. Write a paragraph describing Dick's characteristic. Use textual evidence.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to jump back here. So you can use the characteristic traits that you came up with earlier. If you want to use a new word, you can do that too. Whatever you feel like describes Dick the best. Okay, we do have our first paragraph here. Thank you, Brian. All right, wonderful answer. Brian, do you mind if I talk about your paragraph?
Okay.
Okay, so Brian uses a great word that no one has used yet, actually. So he describes Dick as playful and curious because he's kind of making jokes. He's teasing his siblings, and he's teasing Anne, especially about the 15 dolls. That is a great answer. The rest of you guys, you can still send it to me. Okay, Brian, have a lovely winter break, all right?
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Brian. Thank you. Does anyone feel comfortable reading their paragraph as we're wrapping up for class? Oh, I got another paragraph from me. You want? Okay, wonderful. Very, very detailed. Thank you. So are you okay with me talking about your paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay, so here he is using some great words as well. Dick is rude. He is teasing Anne about the 15 dolls, and he's kind of hurting people's feelings, right? When you're teasing other people, especially if you clearly see that they're uncomfortable with the teasing. And then we also have the word chatty. He's talking about him talking nonstop to himself and to others, and he's not even pausing to wait for others to respond. He's just going on and on. Wonderful. Okay, so we have a couple minutes, we have a minute left. We're gonna wrap up our class for today. We're gonna jump over these guys. Okay. So today we talked about characterization. You guys are wonderful. You guys know so many words for describing characters, which I was super happy about. And everyone had a chance, well, not everyone, but had a chance to read chapter 1. Everyone did very well reading. Everyone was reading very fluidly, and I was very, very impressed with that. Oh, and I just got a response from Carolyn. Thank you. Again, excellent words with offensive. And she also used textual evidence. Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, do we have any questions about what we talked today? I feel like you guys did wonderful. I'm not concerned at all. We're okay. I feel like we are doing excellent. Okay, any other words from our mentors or Michael, if you're still there?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Rachel. I think mentors replied he don't have any words to conclusion, so you can conclude the class and end the class anyway. And happy holiday for everyone. Thank you for attending today's class.
Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, as you guys heard, it was so fun getting to know everyone. I feel like we're going to have a very, very fun time in our future winter classes. Everyone stay safe this holiday, eat a lot of good food, spend a lot of time with your family, okay? And I'll see everyone when we come back from the winter holiday. All right? Bye, everyone.
Bye. Happy
Bye,
holidays.
everyone.
Happy holidays.